One thing I appreciate about Aqua is that she is by far the most introspective of not just her friends, but the entire cast of Kingdom Hearts. Like, more than anyone else, she has extended internal monologues where she's just trying to figure out what the hell is she actually supposed to do, because no one else is there to help her. She hasn't had to figure things out on her own.
Which I really appreciate, in the sense that, like, Sora's a really good shonen protagonist.
Yeah.
Which, just to explain it better, in a way, it just means that he's he's kind-hearted, but also kind of like an idiot.
He's Goku.
Yeah, so he charges forward without thinking too much, because he does it all for the sake of doing good. Whereas Aqua, to me, strikes me as much more of a real person, who's like, why am I doing this? How does this help people? Like, what can I do to change the situation personally?
Or am I doing the right thing?
Yeah. Like, Sora, I don't think would really ever consider that, because he literally follows his heart. Whereas, like, Aqua questions whether her heart is telling her the right thing a lot
there
of the
was
time.
that brief refusal of the call in Kingdom Hearts 2 when he realized that all the hearts he was freeing were curing the Kingdom Hearts, but then he all decided, no. I also just kind of had to keep going when I'm doing what I'm doing anyway.
I feel like for Aqua, that would have been a
brief.
really good moment if that was her in that game.
Yeah, for Aqua, that would have probably been like an entire episode, or like an entire like mini arc, where for Sora was all of 5. I think it was actually literally about 5 or 10 minutes.
Him going like, man, that's really bad, but also Xemnas is really bad, so we got to get rid of the really bad guy first. Yeah, Aqua is a really great character. I feel like too many Aquas in this universe would probably be kind of bad at some point. But she's a really good foil to everyone else in this series.
Yeah.
That's why I hope to God she's prominent in 3 in some respect. Whether she's with other people or not, I just want more Aqua.
Yeah. And, to catch up with the story so far, what she's experiencing, she is experiencing visions of Ventus and Terra. That she hasn't experienced in literally years since she's been in the Realm of Darkness for that long.
But I have to find a way.
She had given up hope until these visions started occurring. She'd almost decided maybe it's not worth fighting since I don't seem to be getting anywhere.
Keeps the dark away.
Which, like, normally it would just be like, oh man, that's a bummer. But at the same time, like, if you acknowledge the situation she's been in, I wouldn't blame her for giving up at some point.
Yeah.
Like, just imagine years in this world without light. Like, literally without light.
Like, at the end of Birth by Sleep, even, they had started talking about that. And that's a very important part of her character at this point. Is, did I do the right thing? Am I now doing the right thing? Is it better off? Is everyone better off if I just stop?
Right.
I don't know. It's for her. It's hard to tell. Like, can you imagine? Like, we joked in Birth by Sleep that those characters weren't exactly the brightest bunch.
Mm-hmm.
And I still stand by that, but can you imagine having 10 years worth of time to do nothing else but think about everything you've ever done?
I would probably have a mental breakdown long before 10 years.
Like, can you imagine? Because that's essentially what Aqua's done. She's sitting there for literally a decade, just with nothing else to do but wonder, did I do the right thing? For 10 years.
I bet you'd have a lot of back and forth on that. You'd have a good 2 years where you're like, I totally did it. And then like 3 years, you're like, nope, definitely a mistake. And then you come right back around another year later. But that's the thing, is that she's been in like this purgatory, like literally, but also figuratively and mentally, that she can't figure out whether she did the right thing or not. And she's constantly putting that into question.
Yeah, and then she does a twirl with a keyblade and opens a chest.
Yeah. I do love her chest opening animation. It's quite good.
It's kind of dissonant with what her character is emotionally, but I like it.
But you know, you could argue she's a full person. Maybe she likes to dress up a little girly with the cat ears, but also get really introspective about the nature of life.
Yeah.
You know, you could do both. It's a little bit weird back to back,
now
but
we've progressed from the dark Castle of Dreams to the dark Dwarf Woodlands. This is I don't know if you remember this. This is the Queen's hall from the Dwarf Woodlands.
The first time I got to this area, I got so confused as to what to do, because I like ran into the first mirror and I'm like, what's going on? It's just an empty wall. And I realized that there's like a puzzle in some of them, and some of them were combat based.
And since the magic mirror is such a core part of that story, what better place than here to have a introspective as to like who Aqua is. Like this is all of this, like mirrors are a very core part of this world. So it's all like and spoiler alert, the end of this level is Aqua having a boss fight against her mirror self, like a little mirror image of her. It's not as like battle of inside the mind as probably should be for this kind of segment, but it's thematically appropriate.
Does it strike you as almost like the right idea, but do you think it was like a budgetary limitation at some point in terms of like the amount of story and assets they could pull together?
Yeah, or maybe it just didn't go far enough with the idea. Because like the entire, like as you can see, the entire, like during this entire segment, there is Aqua's mirror self berating her the entire segment.
Right. It's basically her negative emotions where she's trying to figure out, you know, the part of her that wants to go on is arguably her right now, and then the mirror her is the one that just says, just give up, just let the darkness in and just say fuck it.
And while this like in terms of progress in the overall Kingdom Hearts story, there's not a whole lot that goes on in this game, but in terms of character for Aqua, there's a lot here. There's a lot going on here in a very short amount of time.
It's a lot of food for thought for Aqua, and I like, again, kind of wishful thinking, I like to think that it's putting us in the state of mind to think about Aqua for the upcoming stuff. Or at least to think, if not about Aqua, but about the consequences of the past few games.
Yeah. Because Birth by Sleep was the, like, this was, like, it was Birth by Sleep, The Ring of Distance, and then this. So, in terms of, like, her being out, it hasn't been that long relative to other Kingdom Hearts characters. I just talk about this during my Hitman LP, but I, like, playing games on camera is, like, it gives you an appreciation for the skill you have when you're not recording. Because it's not easy. It's a little easier with Sam here, because with him LP was just me carrying conversation between me and myself.
That's always hard. Take it from me, who's done it before as well.
But it's hard even with Sam here to keep the conversation up and be a good player of video games.
One Brad Shoemaker of GiantBomb.com has said many times over many years, it is very difficult to play video games and talk at the same time. And in the era of Twitch streamers, people probably think it's very easy. But to, at least in like Brad's case, because he's trying to talk about mechanics and design to recommend a game or not, it is very difficult when you're not just like completely, like if you're just trash talking while you play, that's pretty easy. If you're trying to discuss like here's how this mechanic works while doing it, it's very difficult.
Or if you're like us, like having a critical insight onto the nature of Kingdom Hearts' story and plot.
Like trying to pick your brain about Aqua's like motives while you're trying to fight these Heartless.
It's like we're on Piss Baby Easy, so I'm not doing too bad, but
take it as someone who has played, what have we done? Tomb Raider, Far Cry, and Watch Dogs. It can get hard. I remember a moment where I just died over and over in Tomb Raider because it's very difficult to do those combat
I remember
sections
just flat out saying, "Sam, this is an easy segment," and then you're like, "I know, I'm sorry." I didn't realize I was being rude at the time.
So you wouldn't know until you do it, and then what you're doing is like, "Oh my god, this is hard." And like you said, when you do it when you're talking alone, because then you have a third part of your brain where you're trying to figure out what conversation topics to bring up that you alone can discuss.
Yeah.
Oh man, what a problem.
Like with my Hitman LP, it was pretty easy because I already had a rough idea of what I wanted to talk about. Here I'm just kind of going off the cuff, both in terms of playing the game and in terms of discussing. We didn't script any of this. This is all live. Well, pre-recorded, but
yeah, we don't have any like predetermined talking points or anything. Not even that. I always think about doing that, where I think about having like a spreadsheet. It's like, here's the things to talk about for this game, and it's like, I don't know.
Open the chest, because that's important. That's the most important part of Kingdom Hearts is opening
chest is, let me tell you, is someone who has watched someone else play Kingdom Hearts and not open those goddamn chests. Open your chests, people. They contain important stuff that you'll never use in the final boss fight, because if you're like me, you're gonna hoard all your items until the final fight and then not use them on the final fight and then be like, why did I do this to myself? Are you one of those people, Brandon?
Yeah.
You're just like, you hoard like all your revivals and like all your like super big bombs of damage.
But I might need it later. It's the final boss, but I might.
Like someone could come up to you like,
need
"This is
it."
the final boss. There's nothing else." But I could just save it though.
What I have been doing to like I have been actively working against an impulse for the past 2 years.
Just finger over the item button. You're like, I can do this. I can get that item. I can use it.
Yeah.
See, for me,
Like-
it's worse because when there's multiple forms of bosses, and then
Yeah.
you're like, but I might need it for the final form of the boss.
I eventually like had a realization that look, if I don't use these items, they are effectively waste of space
They
in
really
my inventory.
They're just
So-
taking up menu space.
Like I wait until like I feel like I'm about to lose, but then if that's the case, I will just eat shit and go, oh, fuck it, I'm gonna use it now, whatever.
And joke's
Because
gonna be on
otherwise
you,
they'll-
Brandon. You're just gonna bite you in the ass 30 hours later. Didn't have that one Phoenix down.
And now Aqua has reaffirmed her own self-worth.
By literally beating the shit out of another version of her.
Yeah, the
She's
beating shit out of
determined.
her evil self.
Yeah, she's determined it's me, I'm the good one.
But my shadow, she wanted to destroy me.
Baby steps. It's
Yeah.
Baby steps. We're working towards it.
It is really interesting to,
Never
there are some moments like when she looks in the mirror a little bit back there,
Yeah.
when you see like some of the facial animation, you're like, okay, like we're definitely, we're getting steps up there from the Kingdom Hearts 1-2 days.
But with the Phantom, it's as though all my doubts have gained a voice.
I think I mentioned this with you before, and it's definitely more of a problem on Sora and arguably less on Riku, and Aqua's kind of in the middle. But some of
Yeah.
these outfits with the new high definition look a little weird.
Yeah.
Like, especially like the shoe sizes and like some of the cloths just look so weird with high definition
Because
because you're
Sora in
like,
particular,
why?
like his shoes are big to kind of because they're like goofy size shoes.
Yeah. Which in Kingdom Hearts 1 was fine
Yeah.
because you're playing on your fucking, 15-inch TV or like 12, 15-inch TV with your PS2 and like
Yeah.
barely 480p, and you're like, yeah, it looks great. And then you get up to this and you're like, boy, some of these outfits look cool on paper, but they don't really transfer to 3D that well.
Tara,
Like, conceptually, I
Yeah.
like Aqua's outfit a lot, but sometimes I look at it and I'm like, this looks off.
I mean,
Like,
have you seen Kingdom Hearts cosplayers?
True, I dated a Kingdom Hearts cosplayer at one point.
These were not like those. I'm not meaning that to insult cosplayers. Like the people
Oh, no.
who dedicate the time to particularly recreate these outfits. You are amazing craftspeople.
Because these
But-
outfits are not functional.
But these outfits were not designed to be used in the human world.
Yeah. Like, just look at all these weird, like, detached sleeves and, like, super tiny vests and giant shoes, and you're just like, how do these people operate day to day? Like, like, I think even Terra, who comes close, still has the fucking parachute pant thing going on.
Well,
Like,
that's actually a Japanese style
Yeah.
of pants, the hakama, I think they're called.
you're not wrong. Like, Vence, okay. Sora, it's kind of just the shoes and the, like, 7 belts that he has.
I think the most realistic looking, like, out of the outfits I've seen in Kingdom Hearts in the entire franchise is probably Roxas' his outfit, like his casual outfit.
Yeah. I'd say Roxas in Kingdom Hearts 2 onward Riku is okay.
Yeah. Because they're just like pants, vest, and a t-shirt.
Yeah. Just the weirdest thing is that his vest is like a weird, not
Yeah.
halter, it's not a halter top, but it's like a half vest that usually women wear. Because, I don't know. At least he doesn't have a fucking zipper that goes up backwards like these organization members. I don't remember who it was, but we're both fans of some of the really long-form YouTube videos channels
Yeah.
out there. And there was one video I was watching by somebody. It was like a classic, like 4-hour video or something. And he's like, "Dog, you don't need to watch the gameplay for like half. I'll tell you when to look at the screen." It's like, otherwise you could just podcast this. And I'm like, perfect. Just tell me when to look at something. Otherwise, I will just literally
Yeah.
play something else.
Because I know, like, that's how I watch Joseph Anderson stuff. That's how I watch Noah Gervais stuff. Is I don't actually look at the footage.
Mathematosis, like all of
Yeah.
those guys. Like, I respect them for getting that footage, but most of it's pretty just generic stuff until, like, I hear them say, well, check out this puzzle, and I'm like, okay, I'll look at the screen for a couple minutes.
I was listening to Waypoints podcast, which, by the way, another good site for video game content. And Austin Walker was talking about this, like, his Joseph Anderson just put a 2-hour critique on Mario Odyssey on
I
his channel.
just watched that.
and he was like, dog, this would be much stronger as a half-hour video, maybe even 15 minutes, or like a series of 15-minute videos.
Yeah.
Like if you broke it down into a bunch of smaller videos, this would actually be really great for my schedule.
Like, also just lays it out flat on him. He's like, look, dude, I like your stuff.
I agree, because like,
no,
frankly,
I totally do.
As much as I love Joe Stanton's stuff, and his stuff is really good, like, that is a tall ask of somebody.
Yeah, I think it was specifically that one where I got about halfway, and I remember I was watching it till like halfway, and then I just got sick. Like, I was like, I can't do this, because at some point, and Joseph Anderson, if you ever see this, love you, Death Man, you do good work. It just started to drone so hard after a while, and I was like, dog.
Like, there's only so many ways you can say, man, these moons are kind of like, too easily given away. Like, you're technically correct, and that's a good point, and the examples are good, but I don't need to hear that point.
Yeah, at some point it was like, I get
stretched
it.
over a 2-hour video.
Yeah,
I do agree with Austin's. Like, if you would if you need to break this out to more of a video, then go ahead and do that. But 2 hours is a tall fucking ask.
Definitely. That's why I do appreciate when longer articles, and some videos do this too, where they have either timestamps or just big text breaks. Like, when you read an article and it just has like bold text every once in a while that's like, this is a new chapter in this article.
I subscribe to his Just Answers Patreon, and one of his Patreon awards is just giving you copies of the script.
Oh wow.
Just to straight up read the script.
That's gotta be a lot of pages.
Yeah, it's done as a Patreon post. So, but yeah, that's definitely handy. Just having that script there, so you can. And I know Austin talked about that too, where he was like, I would appreciate this being in a script so I could better just think of the points you're making, because it's easier to do that for him. Personally, over a written essay than it is a video essay. Yeah,
like somewhat relatedly, I don't remember how I came across it. I think it was just like my recommendations. I found some guy who did a 7-hour analysis of Pokemon Omega Ruby.
Oh my god!
And at one point, I got like an hour in, and I was like, I could just put this on save for later. He even says it at the top. He's like, I don't intend anybody to watch this in one go. Like, totally just like watch each section and then quit.
At the same time,
and after like 2 hours, I was like, I don't care anymore, man. This is like, because at some point you get to such minute detail in the game that unless you're like a diehard fan, like Matthew Matos's Dark Souls commentary, I don't care. Like,
yeah, like, and even then, like, Matthew Matos probably would have been better served if he had just made that broken up into like a 6-part video.
Yeah, either that or did like one of his more general critique videos like he did for 2. Because that was like 4 hours. It's really weird to be a part of that subsection of YouTube, because most YouTube content is concerned with hitting that like perfect 10-15 minute mark. Then you have Let's Players who want to hit that stride of like 20 to 30 at most.
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden you just get random YouTube videos that are like
in the middle of that.
Yeah, I've always struggled like. Inside baseball. I've always struggled with our video length, because I keep thinking, well, we could do like the 10-minute videos, and that would leave people really excited for the next video and really easy adjustable.
Like a 10-minute video for us is getting nothing, like almost nothing
it's like
of worth accomplished.
The whole video would be literally this conversation about like other YouTube channels, which is why I'd feel so bad about doing that. Is because like there are certain Let's Play channels out there like Game Grumps and such. They can do like 10-minute videos because they're just a lot of like no offense, but like generic comedy. Just funny one moments. Versus, like, you wouldn't get anything out of a 10-minute video of this unless I highly edited it out with, like, editing everything except the barest points. But yeah, it's always so weird to see your subscription box, and you got, like, your 10-minute edited videos, you got your, like, 20-minute long Let's Plays, and then every, like, week or so, I'd say about, I probably get, like, 4 a month, you just open up your sub box, like, oh, there's a 3-hour video today from YouTube channel, and I'm gonna enjoy it, but I gotta put aside some time to watch this.
What is this subscription box you're telling me about?
Quite good. It's the thing that sometimes gives me videos from the channels I like, and sometimes I have to go search and find out that they posted the video like 3 months ago and didn't tell me.
You see, and this is why I YouTube by letter.
Right. Brandon's weird ass way of like you watch YouTube once a week and you go alphabetically.
This is some really stupid stupid.
It's a really Brandon thing.
But it works for me. The way I go to YouTube is like, I've actually stopped doing it once a week, like, because there are so many channels I follow that do really good content. Like, it's almost like a monthly thing now. where like I do this month's videos and then oh here's next month's videos. I'll let them pile up for a couple months and then just watch them all. Where I watch my YouTube videos and I swear this is true and don't laugh at me, or if you're in the audience, go ahead, do laugh at me. I don't fucking care.
Please laugh in the comments at Brandon.
I watch my YouTube videos, like I just open the list of channels I'm subscribed to and I just go in order from A to Z.
In some sense, I totally respect that because that's such a like clean way of watching YouTube versus like the more arguably bad way I and most people do, which is kind of addictively hitting that reload button to see if new stuff pops up.
Yeah.
Because at least with you, like you know what you're getting. It's like whether you get a lot or a few videos, you're just getting videos. And
I will sometimes just skip around. I will go through like if there's a channel I stopped watching and I haven't removed the subscription yet, I'll just remove the subscription, just stop watching.
Yeah.
Period.
I'm really bad about moving subscriptions.
And with like stuff like even with stuff like with George's stuff, sometimes I'll like only watch videos that I'm interested in. Sorry, George.
George is super bunny hop for those who don't know. That's the George we're talking about.
I don't watch all of the videos. Or like with best friends, I won't watch all their LPs. I just watch the ones of the games that I like. Oh, I wanted to see what their opinions are on this.
Yeah.
Or I don't give a shit about this game. Why would I watch an LP of it? Stuff like that.
Yeah. So while you're doing this and we're not talking about this game for a bit longer, what do you think about? You probably don't have this because of the way you watch YouTube, but I've had this constant problem where I subscribe to YouTube channels, but only half of their videos are content I actually want. And the other half is just like stuff I don't. So I'm just sitting there constantly going like, well, like, do I unsubscribe because I don't like half the stuff they put out, but the stuff they do I like?
I would subscribe to them just because the way I work, the way I do my system,
Yeah.
I just don't.
You just
watch
skip
that.
over.
I
Yeah.
just flat out skip over the ones the part I don't want to watch.
I think it's partly because I'm so like OCD organized that it's like if it's not 100% working for me, I just want to get rid of it.
So
which is why my desktop is like completely clean. There's like one folder on there.
I'm not gonna say you should try my system because it's a bizarre system that probably only works for me.
But what if I did?
It works for me, and if you want to try it and see if it works for you, go right ahead.
I might actually try it just to see if it like cures some of this compulsion problem.
The way I do it is that like I will get back to my YouTube queue eventually, but I will have no qualms if like that's like months in the future.
See, that blows my mind. Like it's just
like,
it's such a different personality trait.
I will get to it eventually, and I know I will because I do get to it eventually.
Yeah,
it's just
you've consistently gotten to it.
I don't have a problem with being like months late to the conversation.
This must be also why, or this must help you beat games a lot quicker than I do because you just focus on the game rather than constantly clicking YouTube and taking like half-hour breaks like every 2 hours.
Yeah, it's like every 10 to 20 minutes I just close that video out since it's done and then open up the next one. That's right in the queue because it's a queue sorted by letter.
Yeah, as opposed to like the way that I and most people would do, which is like, you're playing some RPG or something and you're like, oh, I'll watch a YouTube video, and then you refresh the page like, oh, there's another YouTube video. It's like, I'm never gonna finish this fucking game because I'm still watching YouTube.
Yeah, and then I'll and with Let's Plays, like with best friends, I don't so much watch their content as listen to it.
Yeah.
Like I listen to
back when Minecraft
styles.
episode 1 came out, they were like, this is just a podcast. And I'm like, yeah, it is. It's great. I like to think that there are some people out there who watch this or will watch this in the future as podcast content, because it kind of really is at some point. Like, even if you don't see what's going on right now, which Fighting Heartless, by the way,
for the record,
you really could just listen
we
to
are
this.
we are pursuing apparitions of Ventus and Terra as Aqua. That's what's going on.
To bring you back into the fold.
That's the thing with Fragmentary Passage is that like the actual like stuff going on in the story can be summarized in like 2 sentences.
Yeah, which is partly why I debated
time.
not doing this as opposed to just one of those like a 5-minute video that's like, here's what happened in the game, but like we get to talk about the tech a little bit, the customization, the combat, like
and Aqua as a character and
yeah.
her relationships with Terra, and then we get to talk about stuff like the nature of YouTube.
Yeah. It's funny because at some point you almost think to edit this out, and then you're like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like at some point people come to this channel for this kind of content.
This is a worthwhile conversation.
Yeah, like I like to know. I would honestly like to know what people do with their subs. Are they like me and just because I know a friend of ours, a mutual friend of ours, is super obsessive compulsive about me, like about refreshing the page like I am, or just hammering fucking F5 constantly. And it's like, and then I have to imagine there are other people like you who just like watch it during their days off or whatever, and they just never check it otherwise.
Like if I have a free moment, then let's see what's next on the queue.
The queue.
And again, I know this is like super weird, like, and I am really weird for doing this.
But in some way, it's not. Like in some way, you're actually a fucking genius, which is what blows my mind. Like you solved the riddle. You don't have the YouTube addiction problem. Like, you're like my mother with her cell phone, which is like, I'll check it when I need it. And I'm like, how do you do that? Like, how do you just not constantly check your phone?
So you want to hear a fun story about my phone, Sam?
You don't know where it is right now?
No, it's right in front of me, but I had a thing happen, it's about a year ago, and I remember it because it was such a stupid event where someone was asking me, like, I've been calling you for 3 days, where were you? And it's not that my phone was missing, it's that it had been dead for 3 days, and I hadn't realized it.
Oh my god. I think it's only happened to me like once, and it was for like 12 hours to a day. That's insane. You are not a millennial.
No, I am in a lot of ways. It's just
the weird tech stuff you're not.
I will do tech. I do tech, I just do it my way.
Anyway,
and now we should probably get back to the story
stuff. Yeah. Tara's talking to you, but can't see Van.
Tara can't see anything. He is blind.
Darkness.
Yeah.
Playing more tricks.
And now Aqua's confused. She's been seeing apparitions of Tara for a while, and she's not sure if that's the real Tara or just some bullshit that's going on in her brain.
Which again, fair, completely logical.
Yeah, if you've been wondering in the realm of darkness and seeing these kind of apparitions for 10 years. Naturally, you'd be wondering if he's speaking for the first time, whether it's just me going through some weirdo period of craziness.
Yeah. You have to imagine that's happened, like, multiple times at this point. Like, if at least once before, she's probably talked to an apparition of Tara, whether it spoke back to her or not.
Then you're here, trapped in the realm of darkness.
The real me is possessed by Xehanort.
My heart has
True.
ties to the dark.
Which, yeah, this was, at this point in time, I guess it's kind of nebulous exactly where in Kingdom Hearts 1 this is, but there was already the split, right?
Yeah.
So there's already the Heartless and Xemnas.
Yeah.
So there's Ansem and Xemnas right now.
Ansem, Seeker of Darkness was born years before Kingdom Hearts 1 started. Like, somewhere in between the timeline of Birth by Sleep and Kingdom Hearts 1, like somewhere halfway around that across that timeline.
So what you're saying, Brandon, is that there's a gap in the story that we could fill with another game.
Your whore mouth.
It was funny because my first thought was like, yeah, I bet there's another game in there. It's like, please no more, no. Like if he comes out after Cage 3 and he's like, guys, we're gonna pull an MGS5, we're gonna fill in the gap, and it's like that nobody asked for this. Like, please, it's fine.
Also, MGS5, like MGS5, like the backlash on that game has been so severe. Like I remember, everyone was like, "Oh man, this is a great game," but like lately, I've seen a lot of stuff like, "No, this was actually not that great of a Metal Gear game, or even a stealth game for that matter." Like I know Hamish Black, who does writing on games, did a whole retrospective on it. It's like, I don't understand why I liked this game a year ago.
You don't know.
It's amazing how that happens with games.
Aqua, get back!
Tara!
I messed up.
I love this idea of like Tara still rebelling in his heart against Ansem, Seeker of Darkness.
Wait, so why so? I'm actually curious about that. Just like you like that in the sense
Yeah,
that he's
I just
trying?
like that conceptually, because like,
okay.
it's something.
As opposed to him just not being a factor in the story really anymore.
Yeah, at all.
At least when you think about it also from like a, I don't know, psychological is not really the right word, it's a weird concept, but like, it's cool to think that for years he's struggling. Like imagine like being Xehanort and just constantly having someone try to fight out of you for control of your body.
And then like briefly getting it, and like just, even for a couple of seconds every couple of hours or days or years, just like briefly interrupting you when you might be doing something super important like masturbating.
Yeah.
Um,
The guy just gets the kung fu grip on your dick and starts trying to tear it off or
well,
something.
it's actually not Xehanort's dick. It's Terra's dick.
That's true. You wouldn't want to mess with that, actually. He'd probably just let go.
Mm.
These are the questions we need to ask. When does Terra take over?
Mickey, how did it?
Yes, it is a
but
cool
yeah,
idea.
It's implied that the only reason that they can even do that at all is because they have such a strong bond of friendship.
Mhm.
Otherwise, Terra would be completely invisible to everyone else, as he is.
Which they're almost... I think we mentioned this briefly in Birth by Sleep, more related to Aqua in this case, but there is something kind of old school sad about the idea of like being lost to time.
Yeah.
Like I think, like I said, we mentioned this with Aqua, where prior to this, it was just kind of understood. It's like Aqua played her story, and no one is going to remember. Oh, we talked about Shion. That was the other one.
Yeah.
Is the idea that time will forget you, and it's like that's really sad when you think about it. Like no matter what you accomplished, you will just be forgotten one day because you
Well, I
weren't
mean,
the one
that's the fate
important
of-
one.
That's the fate of all people at some point, is to be
True.
forgotten.
It is still just such a sad
Yeah.
thought, especially compared to the idea of like Sora's gonna be the grand hero, and it's like, well, what about like Aqua and what about Shion and
Yeah.
fucking
I'm
Roxas?
sorry, I think you mean Shion.
Shion, yeah, and Roxas and all that, which we discussed.
Wayfinder. Here is what you're. Oh,
Yes.
no, it's. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Wayfinder.
Yeah, we're having a game of cat and mouse right now. Because Aqua's wearing cat ears.
Uh huh. That
And
just
Mickey,
hit me.
And Mickey Mouse is a mouse.
The mouse. Uh huh. Also,
It's a game of cat and mouse.
I'm sorry,
going
I
right
couldn't
now.
hear you over fucking Mickey just going, oh, 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 oh. Just, all I hear in my earphones right now is just Aqua going, and just, oh, oh. My God, I forgot how much sound they make during battle because it's a fucking Japanese game.
Yeah.
Which means they have
Their
to announce
battle
every
cries,
move.
Their battle cries.
It's
So here's Tower
Japanese.
Bite 2 done.
Yep. There's still another one to go. I think there's only one more, right? The final boss?
Yeah,
or-
I think so. But
I don't
again,
think
it's
there's a
been
third
literally
one.
a year since I played this game.
Yeah. From what I remember, there's just the last one. Like, we're getting very close to the end. There's just
Yeah.
one, like, linear area to go.
For some reason, the angry Mickey Mouse face highly amuses me. Like when he gets angry, it's like you just look really goofy right now, Mickey Mouse.
He doesn't look very Donald.
No.
Looks very goofy.
What happened?
Well,
Have you seen
he doesn't got it. That's the problem.
Mickey don't got it.
No,
But
but Donald's got it.
Donald has got it.
I'm sorry. The darkness in this place. It's
Well, I mean,
getting to me.
you wouldn't see Van. He's in the Chamber of Waking.
Oh,
Yeah.
but you'll be okay.
So them meeting is actually a complete coincidence.
Right.
Mickey did not come here for Aqua.
Say, we've been looking.
He
for
came
you
here
a
for the
long
Keyblade in the
time.
Dark Realm.
Right.
How come you're in
I
this?
was
So-
trying to remember at the very end if he mentioned something about that.
They like this meeting is entirely by chance, which is
How long's it been in the ground?
fairly rare in the Kingdom Hearts universe.
Oh, and I thought it was going to say that's very common, but you mean by chance as in not by fate, which is
Yeah.
what's ultimately common, yeah.
As in, like, there
In
was
the sense
no
that it was completely
prede-
random.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That like this could have, by some random other series of variables, gone any other way.
Also, like, for better or worse, Aqua being here doesn't really change the ending
Yeah.
of this, aka the ending of Kingdom Hearts 1.
I didn't know.
How
But it is cool.
Yeah.
brought you here?
It's good because it's a random chance thing, and I'm glad it happened.
Yeah, like for once it wasn't like, no, this was part of my grand master plan all this time. You just didn't know it, you fool. It's
Fucking
literally like this is
Xehanort just being like, this was part of my master plan to
this
have Aqua
this this series of events, Aqua and King Mickey reuniting at long last over after a decade of time has passed, is entirely random and without any form of interference from any other party. Like they just randomly met.
until Kingdom Hearts 3, where Xehanort reveals that was part of his plan all along.
Like there was no, I'm going to cast a spell on you, Kairi, so that when one day this spell falls into darkness,
Which it
you
will.
magically
Trust me,
end
I
up-
keep the script on me at all times.
You magically end up in some other safe area. Not
it just
sure which
happens
one,
to
but
be with the person who will save the fucking world.
yeah.
So they were helping.
Like there was no pretense here. This literally happened because he was in the right place at the right time.
The worlds are still in danger.
But you know,
Kira,
people can
And-
sometimes say that's a bit too coincidental, and I'm like, hey man, if done right, that's good storytelling.
Haven't found him.
Like you say that, but in this universe, that is so hopelessly quaint.
wherever he is,
It's so beautiful. Just the two people meeting up. It's like two people just meeting on the side of the street, just having a nice conversation.
Yeah, it's like when I went to the bank to withdraw some money the other day, and I met a friend of mine from high school. Was like, oh hey, that's cool. Like this
Yeah.
is essentially the equivalent of that happening.
got them
So he didn't like walk up to you and go like, my heart told me to guided me here to you.
Well, it guided him here for a completely different reason.
That's true.
And go home
It's like I went to the bank not to meet my friend, but to withdraw money. But I'm happy I met my friend there. That was a fun little
Yeah.
chance
I
meeting.
was so busy finding a way in.
Like Mickey's here to get the Keyblade of Darkness, but no, meeting Aqua here. That's a cool thing that happened, and he's glad that it happened.
He's like, hey, I'm really glad to see you. And Aqua's like, I'm glad I have someone to fucking talk to who's real for once.
It's good.
Yeah.
I like this little scene.
May our hearts be our guiding.
Oh, by the way, may our heart be our guiding key. That will be relevant in the movie.
Keyblade wielers used to say those words to each other.
What also
That's
comes
the-
up in like the final cutscene of this, right?
That is appears to be like some new form of arc words that Nomura is trying to push for some reason. I'm not entirely sure why.
Why does Nomura push anything? We have no fucking idea.
But that seems to be something that he's trying to push. Like, may our heart be our guiding key.
Right.
Yep.